I really hate to break it to you, but you don't have a marketing problem. You don't have a content problem. You have a planning problem. And most people wake up and ask, what should I post today? Wrong question, honey. The real question should be, what is my sales plan for this week? Because if your week is not structured around revenue, you are operating a hobby with effort. So today I'm going to show you how I use ChatGPT to build a weekly sales plan in under 30 minutes. I'm not talking about a content calendar. I'm not talking about some kind of motivational checklist, a sales plan. And once you use this and learn this rather, you will never start a week blindly again. Welcome to All Gems, No Crumbs. I'm Ikenisha, the AI business queen, and I help entrepreneurs turn strategy into systems, systems into sales, and effort into revenue. Inside this podcast, I'm breaking down the frameworks, automations, and decision-making strategies I actually use to grow my business, sell consistently, and build leverage without hustling or overcomplicating anything. If you're ready to build with intention and execute at a higher level, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Now, most business owners will plan like this: random content, random emails, random posting, random ideas, random offers. And then they're going to say, oh my God, my sales are so inconsistent. Yes, of course they are, because revenue responds to structure. If there is no clear focus for your week, you're not going to have a clear outcome, period. So you need to think in this way. We need to do some reframing. Every week needs some kind of money target. It doesn't have to be dollar amounts, okay? So let's get that out of your head. But before you even open ChatGPT, you need one thing: a weekly money intention. I'm not talking about manifestation or anything like that. Not vague, not hopeful. It needs to be very specific. So it could be something like, I want to generate $1,000 this week. I want to sell maybe 10 units of that jacket, or I want to sell maybe 50 of those cookies this week, or I want 5 new clients. It needs to be specific. If you don't define what winning looks like, you cannot build a plan. You have to start with the goal in mind. And that is my GPS method that I teach. And if you are inside of my 5-year focus formula, you know exactly what I'm talking about with my GPS method. You will learn that clarity precedes income. You have to start with the end in mind, which is your goal. Again, that is my GPS method. Get inside the formula. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So step 1 that I'm going to teach you, you need to define the focus offer. So here's the first mistake people make that I've noticed. They try to sell everything every week. And I learned this the hard way. So don't think that I'm just talking about stuff and I'm talking about you or whatever. No, I have done all of this and I have learned. So now I'm teaching you what not to do. Okay. So don't try to sell everything like every week. No, each week should have a primary offer. Actually, scratch that. The way that I am doing it now, I'm not doing every week. I have noticed that I do better when I do 3 to 4 weeks. So I will pick a particular offer, and that is what I am mainly talking about for a set amount of time between 3 to 4 weeks. So if you're in my Facebook group, you would notice that I am mainly right now talking about the 5-year focus formula, even right here on my podcast. That is the main focus for like 3 weeks now, has been the 5-year focus formula. That is my main thing. So you need to open ChatGPT and I want you to type this: I want to generate whatever your goal is. Say that this week. Well, don't do this week. Well, hold on. Let me think a minute. Do I want to do this week? This is going to depend on you. I would say maybe start off with your prompt of maybe 5 days or a week, just so you can see. But I really recommend, especially if you're having inconsistent sales, do 14 days, like do 2-week minimum. Okay. So let's start over. So say I want to generate whatever your goal for the next 2 weeks. But for the sake of this podcast episode, we're going to say a week, but you can change it to whatever you want it to be. Okay. I'm sorry to keep interrupting myself, but I just want to make sure everybody's good. Again, I want to generate whatever goal this week. Based on my current offers, which one should be the primary focus and why? Ask me 3 to 5 clarifying questions before deciding. Now, caveat, I say this every single time, every single episode. If you have not trained your ChatGPT the way I have told you all to do it, if you're in my 5-year focus formula or my prompt power course or the AI marketing lab, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have not done that, or you're someone who is not using ChatGPT consistently enough where it knows your offers, then it needs to ask you more questions, and you need to make sure you inform it exactly what your offers are so it is familiar. Okay. So you're going to use that prompt to let it narrow your focus. The moment you choose one offer, I am telling you, everything will simplify. So step 2, we're going to build a simple 5-day sales structure. So we're going to build the skeleton of the week. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the skeleton of the week. Next thing you're going to prompt it to do, you're going to say this: create a simple 5-day sales structure focused on selling whatever it is the offer is or the product is you're going to sell. Include content themes, objections to address, and a clear CTA for each day. Keep it simple and executable. Boom. So I want you to notice something. I did not ask it for 100 ideas. I didn't ask it for a whole bunch of viral hooks. I didn't ask it for trends. None of that. I gave or asked for structure. That is how I can tell on social media if people are truly cut out or someone that you should be learning AI from or ChatGPT from. If you see someone talking about that they asked ChatGPT for viral hooks or 100 ideas or the trendy this or whatever, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Okay? They don't. Because those of us who truly use this strategically and get insane results, we are using this to create a structure. And if you have Mogul, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar, Monetize Like a Mogul, or I call it Mogul for short. That is my custom GPT that I created. It is my brain. It is me. It is basically the AI version of Iconisha. So if you've ever wanted to work one-on-one with me, or you're thinking, dang, I wonder what Iconisha think about this, you need to get Mogul. If you're inside the lab, you already have Mogul for free. Okay. So most people don't need more creativity. They think they do, but they don't. They really need more structure. They need more sequence. So this is what a clean week could look like with that 5-day structure. So a simple structure rather could look like day 1 could be like, for me, I'm talking about for me. So day 1 would be like, I'm making my client or my follower, whomever, problem aware. So it would be problem awareness. Day 2, I would agitate and clarify the cost of not fixing that problem. Then day 3, I would teach something valuable. And then day 4, I will address any of objections that they might have. And in day 5, I'm going to directly sell. That's it. 5 days, one focus, clear movement, period. Not a bunch of chaos, not a bunch of noise, not a bunch of random stuff, not selling a whole bunch of different offers all 5 days. I have a clear structure of what I'm doing so that way it leads to an offer at the end. Or I can soft sell throughout those days, but really I'm going to do the hard sell on day 5. Now you might be thinking, okay, I don't do clients, I have physical products. Okay, fine. You can still do this in a way that doesn't come off as salesy, and it comes off in a way that your potential customers like, dang, I need to buy that jacket, or dang, I need to book her for making my treats or whatever. Okay. Or a spa. Like I know some people who listen to me, they have spas and med spas. Give them some kind of problem that they have. And then at the end, you're going to directly sell the product or the service that eliminates that problem. All right, so step 3, you're now going to simplify your daily execution. You're going to refine it. So now you're going to ask ChatGPT, condense this plan. So this is after it has given you the plan, okay? Condense this plan into 3 high impact actions per day that prioritize revenue over visibility. I'm going to say it again. You're going to ask ChatGPT to condense this plan into 3 high impact actions per day that prioritize revenue over visibility. This is critical because I said this in the last episode. Busy work feels productive. Revenue producing work is often simpler and less glamorous. You don't need to do 12 things a day. We don't need to overthink. We don't need to overwork. You need to do the right three. I talked about this several times throughout my journey of how I changed up my to-do list and what I did during my boutique days. And just having 3 things a day made me feel better because I was one of those people that if I didn't check off every single thing on my list for every day, I really felt like a failure. So I shortened the list. 3 days. And then at one point, because I was doing, the boutique, YouTube, and consulting, helping, other boutique owners, I had themed days. So certain days I would do certain things and that would be it. So that way I wasn't overwhelming myself. I wasn't burning out. I still had time with my kids. I didn't work on Saturdays. Perfection. So again, stop thinking that just because you're busy, you're being productive. It's not. You're not being productive. I have also learned, actually ChatGPT taught me this a while back, that when I'm doing something and it's getting to be boring for me, I'm usually on the right track. I'm usually doing the right thing. So think about that. Now, this is truly how I stop weeks, I'll say that, from slipping away. I don't see how the week goes. I don't decide how the week goes. ChatGPT doesn't replace my strategy. It helps me accelerate it because I know what I want to do. And those of you who listened to my last episode, you know about my overthinking. And we talked about how to use ChatGPT to stop the overthinking and start executing. It helps me accelerate those things in my mind, but in a more structured way. So when I enter Monday morning, especially after doing my weekly CEO meetings with God, I already know what I'm selling. I know what I'm going to be saying. I know what objections I could be handling. I know where I'm directing my traffic. And that's why my effort that I have compounds. Not because I work more, but because I plan better. I plan sharper. Now, step 4 is a move that really separates amateurs from operators. You need to have a midweek checkpoint. This is for those who are like me, who love to analyze. Y'all know I am an analyzer. I am a numbers person. I am a data person. So on Wednesday, you need to open ChatGPT and you need to type in, here are my results so far this week. Based on this data, what should I adjust for the remaining days? You could do one of 2 things. You can either copy and paste the data from wherever you're getting it from, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook or your Facebook group, whether it's email, whatever it is. You can either copy and paste it, type it in yourself manually, or you can grab screenshots and attach them in ChatGPT. I talked about that in my second Pinterest episode. I'll let you all know that was how I analyzed. ChatGPT helped me analyze all of my Pinterest results from those 90 pins that I had. And that's what I did. I attached screenshots. I think you can attach up to 7 files per response. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to attach those and you're going to tell it to use the data to adjust or figure out what to adjust for those remaining days. And that is how you're going to stay focused. That's how you're going to stay agile. You're not going to be emotional. You're not going to be dramatic. You're going to be strategic. Okay. And again, this is what separates the amateurs from the operators, because a lot of people do not think about analyzing their data, especially midweek. Most people operate in reaction mode. And I understand that. They react to engagement because it's instant gratification. They react to mood. They react to the algorithms because we're trained to do so. But when you operate with a weekly sales plan, you then control your narrative. You can control the focus. You control the messaging. And this in total is going to create confidence. And I've already told y'all confidence creates what? Consistency, cash, and clarity. Okay? So here is your do now. Okay? Do not wait until next Monday. I want you to open ChatGPT right now, unless you're driving, don't do that, and paste, you can't paste it because I don't know why I'm thinking it. You're going to type, my goal is to generate whatever number this week. Help me choose one offer to focus on, then create a 5-day sales structure with daily actions. Keep it simple and revenue focused. All right. So Do those prompts that I just told you. Don't do that one I just said. That was just me summarizing all the prompts into one. I want you to do it step by step that I told you, all 4 of those steps. And remember, same thing I always say, when it asks you questions, please answer honestly. Then you're going to execute right then. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent. Okay. I keep telling myself that as well. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to be consistent. And if your weeks feel random, your revenue is going to feel random. Okay. So you need to remember that. Stop thinking that you can just do any and everything and get the results that you want. It's not going to happen. Okay. All right. I want you all to, I just thought about this as well. Planning is not restriction. Planning is freedom. I love planning. I've always loved planning. I've always loved structure. I've always loved organizing. Because once you know what matters this week or next week when you start, but I really prefer for you to start this week, you will stop wasting energy on everything else. And that is how you stop hoping for sales and you're going to start engineering them. Okay. So if this episode hits you and you realize that your real issue isn't effort, it's direction, then my 5-year focus formula is where I teach you how to gain an illegal amount of clarity by helping you structure your thinking long term using ChatGPT. It is how I helped myself glow up my life and reach certain goals beyond measure. Because weekly plans work best when they're attached to a bigger vision. Clarity will compound. All right. So my next episode, we're going to be talking about my content to cash method. And I think you all are going to love it. Okay. All right, y'all. So catch me next week with another gem of advice because I'm not going to leave no crumbs.